Life can feel like a bumpy road sometimes. It has turns we don't expect and hills that are hard to climb. We face moments that test us, and we face moments that tempt us. It's easy to get these two confused. They can feel the same. A single event can even be both a trial and a temptation at the same time. Think of them as two sides of the same coin. The Bible uses one Greek word for both ideas, but it talks about them in very different ways. It's important to see the difference. One comes to strengthen us, the other comes to defeat us. One is a test from God, the other is a trap from the enemy. Let's look at this a little closer. Imagine you are walking through a difficult time. Maybe you lost your job. This situation is hard. It tests your trust in God. That is a trial. But within that hardship, a thought might pop into your head. Maybe you think about lying on an application or being dishonest to get some money. That thought, that pull to do wrong, is a temptation. The situation is the trial. The suggestion to sin within the situation is the temptation. They are connected, but they have very different sources and very different purposes. One is designed to build you up. The other is designed to tear you down. A wise preacher named Alexander McLaren explained it well. He said a trial appeals to the best part of you. It's a challenge that asks, will you stand strong? Will you trust God even when it's hard? It calls on your courage and your faith. It wants you to do the right thing, even if it hurts. A temptation, on the other hand, appeals to the weakest part of you. It whispers, why not take the easy way out? This feels good, even if it's wrong. It looks for your desires and your fears, hoping you will give in and fall. So, while they might appear in the same difficult moment, their goals are worlds apart. A trial is like a coach who pushes you to be stronger, to run faster, to endure longer. The coach believes in you and wants you to win. A temptation is like a heckler in the crowd, yelling that you can't make it and that you should just quit. The heckler wants to see you fail. Understanding this difference changes everything. It helps us know who is speaking to us in our hard times. It helps us see God's hand, even when we feel the enemy's pull. The Bible talks about trials in a surprising way. It doesn't say to dread them or run from them. Instead, James chapter 1 verse 2 says, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds." Joy, how can we feel joy when life is hard? It sounds impossible. But the Bible doesn't stop there. It tells us why. These trials are not pointless. They have a purpose. They are like a workout for your faith. They are not meant to crush you. They are meant to build you. God allows these tests to come into our lives to make our faith real and strong. Think of it like a goldsmith. A goldsmith takes a lump of gold and puts it into the fire. The fire is hot and intense. It burns away all the impurities, all the things that are not gold. What is left is pure, shining, and more valuable than before. God uses trials in the same way. The heat of the difficulty burns away our pride, our self-reliance, and our doubt. It purifies our hearts. James chapter 1 verse 4 explains the result, so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. God's goal is to make us whole. He wants us to be complete, lacking nothing. Let's consider an example. Imagine a woman who receives a scary health diagnosis. The uncertainty, the pain, and the fear are a heavy burden. This is a trial. It is a test of her faith. Will she trust God for her future? Will she lean on Him for strength each day? Will she find peace in His presence even when she doesn't have answers? This hardship forces her to depend on God in a way she never has before. It's not a punishment. It is an opportunity for her faith to grow deep roots. It is a chance for her to experience God's comfort in a powerful way. God never wastes our pain. Every trial He allows has a purpose. He is at work, shaping us into the people He created us to be. James chapter 1 verse 12 gives us a beautiful promise for those who endure. It says, "Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because, having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love Him." God sees your struggle, He sees your faithfulness, and He promises a reward, not just in heaven, but a life that is richer and deeper right now, because you have walked with Him through the fire. Now let's look at the other side of the coin, temptation. This is where things get very different. While God tests us, He never tempts us. James chapter 1 verse 13 makes this crystal clear. It says, "When tempted, no one should say, 'God is tempting me.' For God cannot be tempted by evil, nor does He tempt anyone." This is a vital truth. God is pure goodness. He has no part in evil. The pull you feel to do something wrong, to lie, to cheat, to be selfish, or to give in to a harmful desire does not come from him. That is the voice of the enemy. A temptation is a lure. It's like a fisherman who puts a juicy worm on a hook. The worm looks good to the fish. It promises a delicious meal. But hidden inside is the sharp hook designed to trap and destroy. Temptations work the same way. They promise pleasure, ease, or escape. They appeal to our desires. But they hide the hook of sin, which leads to pain, guilt, and separation from God. The goal of temptation is always destruction. It wants to pull you away from God's plan and into a path of hurt, for you and for others. Let's use an example to see this clearly. A man is struggling financially. He sees an opportunity to take money from his company without anyone noticing. The thought enters his mind, no one will get hurt. You need this money for your family, just do it. This is a temptation. It promises a quick fix to his problem. It appeals to his desire for security and his fear of not being able to provide. It suggests something that is pleasant and easy, even though it is wrong. It is a direct invitation to sin, to break trust, and to disobey God. The source of temptation is not God, it is our own desires twisted by the enemy. The Bible says we are tempted when we are dragged away by our own evil desires and enticed. The enemy knows our weaknesses, he knows what buttons to push. But here's the good news, temptation is not the same as sin. Being tempted is not a sin. The sin happens when we choose to act on that temptation. And God always provides a way out. He gives us the strength to say no to the lure and to choose His way instead. How does knowing the difference between a trial and a temptation help us in our daily lives? It changes our perspective. When we understand that God uses trials to make us stronger, we can face them with hope instead of despair. We can see our hardships not as a sign that God has forgotten us, but as proof that He is working on us. This understanding gives us the strength to endure. It helps us look for God's hand in the middle of our troubles. We can ask God, what are you trying to teach me through this? How can I grow closer to you in this season? This new perspective is our greatest weapon against temptation. When you are in a trial, you are vulnerable. The enemy loves to use your pain and confusion to tempt you. He will whisper, God doesn't care about you. If He did, you wouldn't be suffering. You should take matters into your own hands. But if you know that the trial itself is part of God's loving plan to perfect you, you can recognize that whisper for the lie that it is. You can stand firm and say, no, my God is with me. He is using this for my good, and I will not dishonor Him by giving in to sin. Trust is the key. Trusting God's purpose in the trial disarms the temptation that comes with it. Think back to the woman with the health diagnosis. The temptation might be to become bitter, to push people away, or to give up on her faith. But because she sees her illness as a trial from a loving God, she can resist those temptations. Her trust in God's goodness gives her the power to choose grace over bitterness, community over isolation, and faith over despair. She sees the bigger picture. She knows the goldsmith has not left her in the fire. If you are in a hard place today, be encouraged. Your struggle is not in vain. God is with you, and He has a purpose for your pain. He is not the source of the temptation you may feel, but He is the source of the strength you need to overcome it. Lean on Him. Trust His heart, even when you cannot see His hand. He promises to complete the good work He has started in you. You will get through this, and you will come out on the other side stronger, more complete, and shining with a faith that has been tested and proven to be real.